3 ways to never run out of things to say when you are talking to a woman. This is 3 ways to be a better conversationalist. If you are still struggling like I was struggling with keeping conversations with women and even with men, these are 3 ways to stop struggling to keep conversations. 3 ways to be a better conversationalist. Number 1, live an interesting life. Live an abundant life. Live a social life. Live an adventurous life. When I started to live an adventurous life, when I started to go out a lot to get new experiences, when I started reading books to learn new things, when I started expanding my horizon, I found out that I began to have things to talk about when I was with people. If you have experienced something that other people have not experienced, or if you have experienced something that someone who you are talking to has experienced, how do you think the conversation will flow? Either you will be the one telling them new things and introducing them to new experiences, or you guys will be corroborating on your experiences or your experience about that particular stuff. I remember when I first went bowling, I went to bowl, I had a very good experience bowling and I enjoyed it. When I meet a girl, I will ask her, have you gone bowling before? She would say no, and that's my chance to talk about bowling. That's my chance to talk about my experience bowling. Do you understand? So you need to live an adventurous and interesting life to be able to keep a conversation, because you always have things to talk about. If you read books a lot, there will be so many things to talk about. When you meet a girl, girls like romantic books. Most girls read books on romance. If you read books on, let's say, self-development, when you guys are talking about books, you guys will be able to draw off ideas. Like me, when I meet a girl, I ask her, do you read? Oh, she says, yes, I read. I read romance novels. And I'm like, really? I don't like romance novels. I like self-development books. And then we get to bounce off ideas. Why do you like reading this? Conversation is going already, seamlessly and natural. So please live an interesting life if you want to be able to keep a conversation going or be a better English hard though. If you want to be a better conversationalist, live an interesting life. Now, the second way to be a better conversationalist is to be a good storyteller. Now, how do you become a good storyteller? Girls like stories a lot. Stories about your life, stories about experience. That's why they watch movies. That's why they love romance novels. Stories. Even men like stories. But everybody loves a good story. So you need to learn how to be a good storyteller. What do I mean? This will require you to talk to, many girls, to always put yourself out there, even if you're going to be embarrassed, even if there's a risk of embarrassment. This is the risk you have to take to be a good storyteller. You have to put yourself out there and tell stories as often as possible. Tell people about yourself, tell people about your life, tell people about your experiences. This will break those social barriers in you, and it will open you up so that you'll be able to, express yourself in different ways that people don't normally express themselves. And girls will find you fascinating if you can do that. So you need to tell stories as often as possible, even if you risk embarrassing yourself. You need to tell stories and tell a particular story again and again until it's perfect in your head, and then you can tell anybody that story at any time and it will be a very good story. So you need to be a good storyteller. Another thing you need to do aside being a good storyteller is to know how to tell stories, when to pause, how to talk slowly, how to increase your tone, how to decrease your tone. These are all life skills, not only for women. You need to learn how to talk. You need to learn how to express yourself. You need to learn how to tell stories. You need to learn how to, and when you are telling stories, your tempo goes up sometimes, your tempo comes down. You talk fast sometimes, you talk slowly sometimes, you relax sometimes, you get tensed up sometimes. That is how to be a good storyteller. And this will require practice. So you need to put yourself out there and tell stories often, so that you can have stories at your fingertips that you can always tell people and seem like an interesting and fascinating person at every given point in time and in any conversation you find yourself. So be a good storyteller. The third way to be a better conversationalist is to get my book, Texting 101. If you are a boring guy, if you are a guy who doesn't know what to text women, if you are a guy who doesn't know what to say to women, if you are a guy who doesn't know how to express yourself to women, if you are a guy who doesn't know how to text women in a way that will erupt positive emotions in them, if you are a guy who doesn't know how to talk to women that will make them interested in you, that book is for you. Texting 101. Go get your copy of that book, and it will solve all your texting problems and conversation problems. I wrote that book specially for you. So hit the link on my bio or send me a message to get your copy of Texting 101. Ciao, guys.